This is a highly edited video covering only part of the Senate District 26 vacancy appointment meeting of October 23rd. Posting here only the questions and comments answered by the two candidates who received votes from Hood River County Commissioners.
You each have 2 minutes for your statement. Representative Drazan, you will have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. It is a privilege to be with all of you. Again, my name is Christine Drazan, and I am the state representative for House District 51. And I'm honored to be a nominee to fill the vacancy left by the resignation of Senator Daniel Bonham. I first stepped into the Capitol building all the way back in 1995 as a young staffer. I worked in the House Majority Office at the time and rose to Chief of Staff for the Majority Leader and then the Speaker of the House. That was my first opportunity to really see the good that can come from public service inside our state capitol. I also saw opportunities where our elected leaders fell short and failed to really serve the full needs of Oregonians across our state. It left an indelible mark on me, and I'm deeply committed to continuing that work. I had the privilege of returning to the legislature in elected capacity in 2018, where I served as Republican leader, always with a commitment to improving the lives of Oregonians and standing up for the future of our state on behalf of families and businesses statewide. I am deeply grateful to have the endorsement of Senator Daniel Bonham for this position to complete his term through this appointment process. And I recognize that he's got very big shoes to fill. And this next year, it would be a privilege to work on behalf of Senate District 26 and continue to tackle the problems that face our state, whether or not that's youth homelessness, wildfire response, increasing agency accountability, or tackling the high costs which burden Oregon families. It would be a privilege to represent this Senate district in the state legislature. And I look forward to our conversation today. Thank you so much.
For those who don't know me, I think I've talked to just about everybody here. My name is Jeff Helfrich, State Representative for House District 52. I entered into politics actually when I was a police officer with the city of Portland and small community Cascade Locks. Eventually that led to me becoming the state representative. And I got to be the state representative. Daniel Bonham and I both came in to the state legislature at the same time in 2017. I lost my race, but I came back, and I came back in 23. And so with that, it's a true honor. He was my roommate. He's done a great job as senator, and I would love to be able to fulfill his role, his rest of his term. He's done a great job. But for me, there's a lot of politicians who do the work because they want the title. They get caught up with the attention, the headlines, all while nothing really changes. That's really not me. Politics today seems to be about who gets the credit, who gets the check, who gets the power, instead of who actually gets to get helped. I'm not interested in playing that game. What I'm interested in is problem solving. As a problem solver, during my time as House Republican leader, I led the charge on recriminalizing drugs and started fixing Measure 110's failures. We took steps that were real to get money out of politics, but also be able to get things done. And none of these things would be considered my perfect solution to these problems, but they were progress, and that's how real change starts. You know, I think you guys have seen where watching in Salem has turned into a place where both parties care more about making headlines and making a difference. I am a Republican, but I don't see Democrats as being the enemy. I see the enemy as the political culture that makes compromise impossible and rewards people for playing politics instead of doing their jobs as a public servants. I spent over 30 years in law enforcement as an Air Force veteran, a police officer with the city of Portland for 25 and a half years, and from Multnomah County for about 6 months. And then from there, I became a legislator. My career has been based upon results, accountability, not ideology. In law enforcement, there's a cornerstone of leadership, the principles, which is I cares, integrity, compassion, accountability, respect, and excellence. I'm not running for this seat to be a stepping stone to somewhere else. I'm doing it because I care, proven leadership. That's what it's meant to me. Thank you for your opportunity for this.
Hood River County, please proceed with your first question.
Thank you. Since you are in the minority party, in what ways have you demonstrated, or would you demonstrate, the ability to work with the majority to advance the needs of our district?
Thank you. Continue with our candidate rotation. Ms. Drazan, please answer first.
Thank you. And thank you for that question. You know, people talk quite a bit about bipartisanship in the state legislature. And to your point, being in the minority party, the only way we get anything done is by being bipartisan. And it has been a great privilege of mine to be able to identify issues where we can work across the aisle and where we do have shared goals, and that we absolutely can collaborate to get some of those things done. One of the priorities for me through the years has always been youth homelessness and addressing youth homelessness. I passed legislation in my freshman term that would expand access to programming in the rural parts of my legislative district, and then move forward in collaboration with the majority leader while I was serving as the minority leader. And we jointly passed legislation to expand that programming statewide. And so I am very proud of the multiple opportunities that we have seen to work together. I will always put my foot down when there is overreach from single party control and it harms Oregonians. But there are lots and lots of issues that are, in fact, not partisan, and that we can find ways to reach across the aisle. Throughout the period where we were addressing COVID in particular, we had 5 special sessions that were very bipartisan in response to the needs of Oregonians at that time. And we continue to find opportunities to work together. That will always be the gold standard. We're Oregonians, and we're Oregonians first. And while we enter this process under a party banner, our work is to do our absolute best to serve the needs of Oregonians regardless of party. And that's certainly the case in legislative service. It's not about serving Republicans, it's about serving our constituents, and they are our shared constituents. And I'm grateful for that, and I would look forward to additional opportunities to work together to that end.
The question, I think most recently for me to show that I can work bipartisan is the Measure 110 reforms that we did. We recriminalized hard drugs. But more importantly, as a police officer, when I showed up to somebody's door, it was about solving problems, and it was about how do we get to a yes? Not always, but how can we get to a yes here? And we all have different ways of going about doing our business, but it's about relationships. And in the House, you have to have good relationships with everybody. You may not like some of the politics sometimes, but you have to have those good relationships. And then the Senate provides the opportunity to expand those relationships, but you're there longer to sit down there and get good work done over a couple of sessions. So for me, and how I've worked across to get things done for the district is because I've been bipartisan. I've been able to bring home $105 million for the Hood River Bridge because that was important, and I knew how to be in that building and get relations and get a bill passed. Also, part of that is part of the bonding that was going to happen with that bill was the ability, they were going to bond all that bill in one, and they were going to take the whole 105 million, which would have taken out lottery bonds, would have maxed them out. I recognized that, worked with the stakeholders and said, how much money do we need now to work over a couple of bienniums to get the money that's needed for the bridge so you can spend it as you need it? So we did that, but what that did was offered other opportunities for other legislators to bring home project money for their projects at home. And so it's just not bipartisan work within each side of your political spectrum. It's about actually working together throughout the whole process. And it's about, as we said, it's about people, not party. And that's how we have to look and serve our constituents. It's about how do we do best for them and how do we get the best results for them.
Thank you, Mr. Helfrich. Hood River County, if you have a second question for the candidates, please proceed.
Given recent rumors, how can you allay our fears that you won't have time to serve the residents of this district rather than focusing on running for statewide office?
Next, Mr. Helfrich, go ahead, please.
Thanks for the question. I never thought in my growing up as a kid I would end up in politics, let alone be the House Republican leader for that time and then make the impact that I did. And the Senate for me is the end point for my political career. I don't plan on seeking higher office. I don't want to go to DC. My wife and I have talked about those things. Anything else other than where I'm at, my kids are 11 and 13, and I want to be around to see what they do and all the great things and experience them. And I have filed for the Senate seat. I can plan on running for the Senate seat. But also, it's at least 4 years, if not a second term on top of that. 8 years gets me to where my kids are out, just getting out of the house, and I get to go follow them around, chase them around, and watch them do their sports and the great things that their kids are going to do and follow them around. So that's my commitment. I'm not going to seek any higher office than being a state senator.
Thank you, Mr. Helfrich. Finally,
so I appreciate this conversation, and I certainly appreciate the question. I am always somebody that is going to give my absolute all and my absolute best to whatever I undertake. And as I've had the privilege and the opportunity to serve in the state legislature, I have not ever backed down from a challenge. And I believe that this Senate seat in particular has very big shoes to fill, from Senator Bonham. And I think that he, with his endorsement of me, knew that I would give it my all, that I would give it my best to serve this district. And had he completed his term, there's no doubt that Senator Bonham also might have been looking at running for some other office since he could not run for reelection. Unfortunately, he was not able to run for reelection to this seat. And so this Senate district was going to have an open seat and an open contest under any and all circumstances. So I can tell you, I've talked to each one of you, and I've really appreciated those conversations. I am committed to doing my absolute best to serve this district throughout the remainder of Senator Bonham's term, and I am committed to doing right by his endorsement and serving this district to the best of my abilities. Just the fact that you would consider that I would be the person, I'm assuming that it was directed to me, that might consider statewide office. For me, that is just a reflection of the fact that I am always determined to do more than that everybody else sometimes is willing to do to serve the greater good for the state of Oregon. But that begins with this district. I would not have accepted Senator Bonham's endorsement and been willing to take on the responsibility that he so dearly loved to represent this Senate seat if I were not completely committed to doing my best by the constituents in Senate District 26.
After each county and each candidate was given an opportunity to ask and answer questions, there was a chance for last comments about any of the candidates from any of the commissioners participating. Chair Jennifer Euwer expanded and reflected on the question she had posed previously.
I would also like to thank the people who are being considered, two people with the experience and a new face from Wasco County. Because my county asked a question about whether or not it might be distracting to run for a statewide office, I've thought about how I would think about the answer to that. And I think there's two ways to look at it. One, that person would be very busy. And the other is, if you want things done, ask a busy person. And I'm not saying that that's an adage that I live by always, but I think the confidence that you have the connections also might to run might also indicate that you have the connections to get things done. And I'm not saying that I'm for or against either. I'm just pointing out that I think that's one of the ways that I would look at it. It is the confidence to run could indicate effectiveness. So I'll just leave it at that and thank everybody.
No other hands of commissioners who wish to speak at this time.
Okay, at this point, I'll call for a vote and I'll ask the clerk to call the votes in alphabetical order by last name, ending with the chairs. And as a reminder, folks, each commissioner's vote is weighted according to their county's population share. It's not one commissioner, one vote system. So clerk, would you please call for the votes and show them in real time on the screen for really clarity and transparency so folks can see that.
Of course, Mr. Chair. I'll now have Clackamas County Assistant Counsel Jeff Munns to please share his screen. You will see the votes tallied in real time as I call the votes. From Hood River, Commissioner Arthur Babitz.
Thank you very much. I will cast my 3.4 votes for Representative Helfrich.
From Wasco County, Commissioner Phil Brady.
I will cast my 5 votes for Commissioner Jeff Helfrich.
From Multnomah County, Commissioner Julia Brim Edwards.
Casting my 1.8 votes for Representative Helfrich.
From Clackamas County, Commissioner Diana Helm.
I cast my vote for Christine Drazan.
From Multnomah County, Commissioner Vince Jones Dixon.
I'll cast my vote for Representative Drazan.
From Wasco County, Commissioner Jeff Justison.
I'll cast my vote for Representative Helfrich.
From Hood River County, Commissioner Letisa Moretti.
Thank you. I will cast my vote for Representative Jeff Helfrich.
From Multnomah County, Commissioner Megan Moyer.
I will cast my vote for Representative Helfrich.
From Hood River County, Commissioner Chad Muenster.
I will cast my vote for Christine Drazan.
From Clackamas County, Commissioner Paul Savis.
I will cast my vote for Christine Drazan.
From Clackamas County, Commissioner Martha Schrader.
I'll cast my vote for Christine Drazan.
From Multnomah County, Commissioner Shannon Singleton.
I will cast my vote for Representative Helfrich.
From Hood River County, Commissioner Ed Weathers.
Thank you. I vote for Representative Jeff.
From Clackamas County, Commissioner Ben West.
I'll be casting my vote today for Christine Drazan.
Wasco County, Sheriff Scott Hedgie.
I cast my votes for Helfrich.
From Hood River, Chair Jennifer Euwer.
Jeff Helfrich.
Thank you. From Multnomah, Chair Jessica Vega Peterson.
Thank you. I cast my vote for Representative Helfrich.
And from Clackamas County, Mr. Chair Craig Roberts.
I cast my vote for Christine Drazan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That concludes the vote roll call. All commissioners have voted.
All right, council, has plurality been reached?
It has, Chair.
Great, thank you. So on behalf of our boards, congratulations to Christine Drazan, and wanted to give Ms. Drazan a chance to have any comments if she would like, and brief remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you everyone for this opportunity to really vet the issues today and have a discussion with both Representative Helfrich and Mr. Grant. I look forward to the opportunity to work with all of you and to serve this district to the best of my abilities, and certainly to continue my partnership with Mr. Helfrich moving forward. So thank you guys for the time today that you've invested in this process, and thank you for giving all of us an adequate opportunity to really go through our approach and our thinking as it relates to the central issues for your counties and this larger Senate district. So thank you today. I appreciate it very much. I'm honored to have the opportunity to serve.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you to all those residents watching today and provided written comment. It's only through community involvement that we can collectively work to best represent you. Colleagues, our board clerk will coordinate with your staff shortly after this meeting to coordinate the signing of the required documents.
Please remember that this video was highly edited to only include statements from the two nominees who received votes from Hood River County Commissioners. There were 3 candidates for the empty seat: Jeff Helfrich, Christine Drazan, and John Grant. Because most people are only interested in a few parts of the candidates' comments, I excerpted the ones I thought were most useful. Watch the full video with all candidate comments, all statements for opening and closing, and all commissioner questions from other counties on the Clackamas County link provided in my notes. The Clackamas County website has the full hour-and-a-half video, and you can watch that to view all candidate comments and statements.